So at the State of Play on April 30th, we got an extended look at some gameplay for Borderlands 4. It was a dual co-op mission, kind of going through some stuff, showing off two of the characters, Vex and Rafa. Vex being the siren for this game, and Rafa being this Tediore exoskeleton assassin style dude, kind of just moving through this open world seamless map. This is already giving me amazing vibes of the direction that Borderlands is going to be going in. A lot more kind of diving into those good parts of Destiny, good parts of games like The Division, stuff like that, where the open world is going to have these fun, different experiences for you while you are just doing your main missions. Now, I'm going to do a full deep dive on all of the stuff that we saw at the State of Play gameplay today. Before we get into it, know you can follow me here on YouTube at Byrdman778. You can also follow me on Twitter at Byrdman778. Please subscribe, become a member, give a thumbs up on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing for Borderlands 4. Obviously, I'm going to be covering, Borderlands 4 is going to become my entire life here soon. So might as well just subscribe now, make your life easier for all the different builds and news and guides and everything we're going to be having here in the future. So let's dive right on in. We're going to be talking about everything we saw. So let's first start off by talking about Vex, our new siren. So far, things that we're seeing from her are her action skills. She tends to empower herself, kind of like Sunsinger from Destiny 2, essentially just kind of giving you an all-around boost to everything that you got going on. She's able to create minions. And so far, that's kind of like the most that we really know about her, but she looks really awesome. Kind of that mix between a pet character that's able to create things to run around the map and help you, while also being able to just juice yourself up if you just don't even want to deal with, a little minion running around having to take care of it. We also got to see Rafa. Rafa is an ex-Tediore soldier, is using an awesome exoscoot that is able to have a bunch of different weapons on it. We've seen guns, we've seen blades. Looks really awesome, and it's something I really do enjoy about Borderlands, the fact that whenever we get to the skill tree later on in this video, you'll see just how customizable our Vault Hunters are going to be now, with different augments, capstones, and different action skills. We're also going to have improved lobbies and crossplay at launch for a really cool seamless experience. I do enjoy this for the fact that Borderlands has always been heralded as this awesome co-op game, yet the past few years it's felt like it's been more of a single player experience type of game. Really difficult to get matchmaking through the shift system. I really hope they've improved that, and it's really at times been awful for that save quit aspect of the game, which it seems like they are kind of getting rid of and fixing. You're not really going to have to worry about the whole save quitting aspect anymore. Now you're able to kind of respawn bosses and respawn areas on your own, which is really freaking awesome. So I think it's going to make the whole co-op aspect of the game a whole lot better. There's going to be 4 seamless zones for you to explore, so that means you're not really going to have to like load into any area. It's just going to immediately probably do some type of just like back end loading system where you're not really going to notice it as you move through an area. But I really enjoy this because, again, I just personally like just big maps that I'm able to just kind of traverse around, enjoy, not have to, walk to a door, sit there, wait for a loading screen, get loaded in, all that stuff. Now, as soon as they log in, we're able to see on the menu bar that we are actually going to meet Amara, which is super awesome. Obviously, we've already seen from a lot of the pre-credit stuff that we're going to be meeting Amara. We're going to have Zane. We're going to be seeing Moxie. So a few familiar faces and names, which makes me pretty excited, especially the fact that they immediately talk about in this level that they're doing that they're trying to find Lilith. So it means we are finally getting some closure. We're figuring out what happened to Lilith at the end of Borderlands 3. So that's freaking awesome. Immediately, we start seeing a lot more of the movement tech. You're able to pretty much do anything that you could imagine in this world. You're able to climb up stuff. You're able to double jump. You can dash. You can dodge. You can grapple. You can even now glide. I really do enjoy the glide part of it because of the fact that, a lot of times there's these big, large areas that you would have to jump off a cliff, pretty much just land at the bottom of the cliff and then make that movement through out there. Now you're able to glide across. You can kind of pick the spot that you want to drop down at. This is amazing. Now, something that I've been really wanting in Borderlands Forever is world activities, and they have definitely answered that call. We're going to be having awesome world activities like silos. They're going to essentially just be small little areas where you activate stuff. You're able to move across the map, fight some enemies, get some rewards, simple things for, essentially just like easy gear or XP. And then there's even further world activities where you're able to essentially get pieces of a vault key, get those all together, activate a vault dungeon, and then fight a super hard boss to get even better loot. I am so happy about this. I cannot express it enough. I've been begging for this forever. It's felt like the world of Borderlands 3 especially was pretty hollow. It was I mean, as you were going throughout the world, you're essentially just doing story mission to story mission. The space in between was pretty irrelevant, and now there's going to be a reason to look over every small corner of the map, because you'll be able to find new silos, new pieces of gear, and new activities for you to enjoy. And that doesn't, I don't even think that's like the only world activities we even have. There's going to be a whole lot more, and I'm so freaking excited. There's also just like great movement across these maps, which I'm really enjoying, for the fact that, again, they are big, they are seamless, and you're able to use all these different movement activities to essentially make your way across the map. And this even leads into the fact that you now have a Digirunner, essentially like a Sparrow from Destiny 2. You're able to activate it anywhere. You can customize it as you want it. It has guns still on the front of it. It's amazing. I love this. I love not having to go to a fast travel station, go to like a catch a ride station, anything like that. To activate this, I can just activate it at will. I will say I am noticing now that there is no mini map. It is now kind of going back to the Borderlands 1 compass design on the top of the screen, essentially just kind of showing dots depending on which area you're looking in. Also kind of showing you objectives along there as well. I'm gonna be honest, don't exactly love this, but I'll probably get used to it over time. It doesn't bug me too much, but I do love a more organized map, just so that whenever, you know, there's little objectives or something like that on the map, I know exactly where it's at versus just like a general idea of where it could be. Now, the movement in combat seems really fluid so far. Looking at this gameplay video, I was kind of worried about it with all these different things, if it was going to be like almost too much. And it seems like you were able to really move around enemies and smack them around. Speaking of enemies, I think they actually look pretty awesome. It looks like everyone's really different, has different abilities, and that's going to be even cooler for the fact that a lot of these enemies have modifiers on them now. So it kind of separates them from each other, so you're not just getting like the same big beast that's just going to run at you. Sometimes those big beasts are going to have a modifier on them that, you know, is not going to benefit you at all. So it's going to change up the combat feel, which I really do enjoy. Speaking of like things that remind me of Destiny, you have Echo 4 available to you. He's a little robot. He can actually show you exactly where you need to go along the map, which is really nice. So again, I think that's going to be a great part to kind of outweigh the fact that we don't have the mini map now. We now can just like activate Echo 4 and he can tell us where on the map we need to go. Gives us a clear compass to a singular spot. Now let's take a quick look at the UI and everything that's on the screen. Again, not super in love with the compass at the top of the map. At the bottom left corner, you essentially see a medical symbol. We'll talk about what that is here in a second, but so far I really do enjoy what that is. Essentially getting quick heals, stuff like that. In the middle, you have your action skill and then a new ordinance essentially that's there. I'll explain again what that is here in a second. And then on the right hand side, your typical gun with the swapping weapons bar there, and also able to change up weapons and how they fire, how they function, all that stuff. Now we actually get to see a little bit of Vex's action skill, that Sunsinger, that enhancing ability she does to herself. She activates those wings and she's able to essentially, it looks like, shoot out these purple lightning in the air. Super weird, but I honestly dig it. I kind of always have been a fan of abilities that essentially just juice you up and make you a better version of yourself. I think that's really freaking cool. Now let's talk about the new character inventory UI. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of there. It looks a little plain, but you know what? This isn't like a make or break for me whatsoever. At the top, we see all of our 4 different weapons we're able to activate. You can actually see different parts of the weapons, like what's element, what's the rarity, stuff like that, which I enjoy. Let's talk about weapons and manufacturers real fast. There are going to be 8 different manufacturers, 5 returning, and those are going to be Jacobs, Tedior, Malawan, Vladov, and Torg. And then 3 new ones. The Order, it's going to essentially be a charge and release power-up weapon. Ripper, which they described as full auto. Have no idea what that means. I'm guessing it's just essentially going to be like COV and stuff. And Daldis, which is going to essentially be a multi-ammo type weapon, which they haven't really explained, but it sounds pretty interesting. Essentially means you probably have a chance to, you know, shoot AR bullets and then swap quickly to like a shotgun or something like that. I don't know. But with the fact that us having all these different manufacturers now, we have a difference in parts. Parts are going to be a lot more important now on weapons because they're going to drastically change the weapon as you're playing it. There was part of this gameplay where I saw a Jacobs pistol that was shooting in rapid fire like lasers. It was pretty insane. They had a Torg that was like shooting out electric bullets and then you threw it like a Tedior. This is going to be absolutely insane. As the rarities go up for these weapons, you have access to more part slots, which means you have a different variation to essentially juice this up. So it's going to be really fun to just kind of farm for the most random weapon types and just see what you know, what they're essentially going to do. Essentially, it reminds me of all those mods people like Jolts and, you know, Epic were doing and stuff, where it was just like a random weapon with different parts and would do these insane abilities. That sounds amazing to me. I think that's essentially what they're going to do. They're also going to be overhauling drop rates and loot in the game. They recognize that in Borderlands 3 that there was just too much legendaries dropping on the ground. They want legendaries to feel powerful again and to feel special again. So thank you, Gearbox, for fixing loot. I appreciate you so much. I still hope we get, you know, like pearls and seraphs back, but you know, if legendaries on their own just feel good, I'm gonna be a happy camper. Going down the UI screen as well, we're able to see our new rep kits. Rep kits essentially are going to give you health and other buffs for a short period of time. I actually love this because it's just going to add to the build crafting aspect of this game. Before you want to go one shot a, you know, a certain boss or something like that, activate a rep kit that might have just like extra damage or something like that, and go in. You also have an ordnance slot. Ordnance is essentially going to be just a bigger explosive type of weapon. You have access to like machine miniguns, grenades, and stuff like that to activate. So it's just going to add to the build crafting aspect of the game as well. And then you also have 3 enhancement slots on the bottom. These are essentially just charms that are going to change up your weapons depending on what artifacts you have. So there's different things like, you know, for a Jacob's weapon, it'll bounce more bullets between enemies and do extra damage, stuff like that. Let's talk really quick about all the classes. They all each have 3 unique action skills, just like in, you know, Borderlands 3. The branching skill trees, and as you go down them, you have new augments and capstones. And it seems like these augments and capstones are really going to change up the characters and make them more powerful as you go down. You also now have access to traits. These are going to be passive skills that are going to change you up. So in the video they showed for Vex, her like little, you know, phase tiger, whenever she changed her weapon based on what the element of her weapon was, it would change the element of her tiger. So that means, you know, if there's like some type of slag enemy or something like that, you can, you know, you would be able to like turn your, you know, little beast into a slag beast, and they'll be able to slag enemies. I don't think slag's back. Don't take that as that. I'm just like saying words. As we're finishing up the video, we actually kind of see a new boss, and it seems like they have absolutely learned from the good parts of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with these secret bosses that we had in the Chaos Chambers. I really love these secret bosses. I was begging them to bring this concept back because they were absolutely amazing. These giant arenas with these giant bosses, and they have definitely brought that back. We only got a small snippet of this, but from what I have seen alone with that, I am very excited for what the end game is going to look like. Now, that was most of my notes from everything. I'm just gonna kind of like talk off the cuff here for a second, just like my initial reactions. Everything looks great. I will say, it looks a lot like Borderlands 3. I mean, a lot of the movement, there was like a ground slam I saw that was like pound for pound the same ground slam from Borderlands 3. If you're looking for something that was as dramatic of a visual change from like Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3, you're definitely not getting it here. But it does seem as though it is a little bit more fluid. It seems like a lot of the enemies are a little bit more fluid. The characters are more fluid. It seems really good. I am not going to be too upset about that. You know, as long as the game feels good, I could care less if it feels kind of like Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 already felt amazing. So just improving upon that is good for me. One of the biggest things that I am, you know, a stickler about is going to be the builds, build crafting, all that stuff. So far, it seems great. Very happy with that. I hope to, you know, absolutely be making and churning out absolute crazy builds here soon for y'all. And we're going to be talking about in a video coming up here soon about all the 4 Vault Hunters and exactly what I think that they're going to fit into the build crafting space. Weapons and gear and all that stuff seems good. You know, we're really gonna not know until we actually get our hands on it and try out the stuff. I will say some stuff seems very simplified, but again, that's just first looks. We have really no idea now. So far, my biggest like, oh my gosh, I want to play this right now has been the character's action skills and their different abilities that they bring to the table. That's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about these like med kit, rep kits. I think those are going to be freaking amazing. I'm very excited for that. And then also just getting to try out the ordnance, maybe having like, you know, grenades that are just like stupid powerful, stuff like that. Overall, I think this is an absolute win. I think Gearbox did insane with the state of play. I think Borderlands 4 is already looking to be, you know, the looter shooter for 2025 and probably beyond. Like, so far, yeah, I know a lot of people were concerned about it launching alongside Marathon. Obviously, Gearbox felt confident enough in the game that they're now going to release it about a week, 2 weeks early, so that's freaking amazing. I really do think it's going to drown out a lot of the other games in the space when it launches, because so many people are going to be bouncing off of Destiny here soon, and they're going to need a looter shooter game, and this is going to be the one to do it. And they look like they have learned from their mistakes of the past and are adding to this game and making it a whole lot better. You can call me a shill if you want for being excited about this. I know there's, you know, the grifters in the community who are just going to cry and complain about anything about this game. I think it looks great. I'm excited, and I hope you guys stick around the channel to see all the fun new builds and everything we're going to be coming out here soon. I'm just really excited for Borderlands 4, and I hope you are too. If you are excited, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what character you are the most excited to play. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribing, and becoming a member, and follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Byrdman778. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you're excited for Borderlands 4, and I hope you have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.